So right now I'm standing in our chili fields here at the Los Lunas Agricultural Experiment Station. And here we have our breeding trials for mechanical harvest of green chili and a lot of other things. So what I want to talk about today is mechanical harvest of green chili, where we are currently in the research, and why it's so important that we're doing this. Currently, green chili in New Mexico and all over is harvested by hand. So that takes a lot of labor and time, and getting labor and the price for labor is a major constraint in the profit for farmers. And so what we're trying to do is improve the plant to be able to be harvested using a machine. And there are various components to the plant architecture and the fruit architecture that help it to be more amenably harvested by the machine.
So we've been working with UC Davis in breeding for mechanical harvest traits, and what they've found is a variety of chili that is remarkably good at destemming. My name is Franchesca Ortega. I'm a graduate student. I work with Dr. Walker. So if we can harvest in the field and already have it be off, that would be more efficient. And so this is the UCD variety, and it's like beautiful every time in terms of destemming. Really nice. So this is an example of a plant with like great destemming, but the plant architecture is crowded. There's like a lot of basal branching, which is not really what you want to see when you're doing mechanical harvest, because the harvester needs room to get in there, and the more basal branches it has, the more likely it will be to rip it out of the ground. So we don't want that. So this is one parent that has a desirable trait, which is the destemming. And here's another parent that has the desirable architecture trait, the New Mexico trait. As you can see, it's like taller. There's not, I don't think, any basal branching. So there's a lot of room, and so this is great on the architecture in terms of height, but I think it's not as good in terms of destemming.
So what we've been working on doing is getting fruit that have a more efficient destemming, which is, in the scientific term, removal of the pedicel, so the whole top part of this fruit. The way we measure this is using this torque meter. So what it does is it will turn and pop the stem off and show you a torque reading right here. And there. This is our breeding line, and this is a successful destemming. And we measure that torque reading, and that's how we start breeding towards a better destemming fruit for better processing.
So if you envision what the perfect mechanical harvest for green chili looks like, it would be something like the machine goes through the field and it takes all the green chili, and there's no green chili left behind, and all the green chili that you've harvested is beautiful and destemmed and intact, and there's no branches or twigs. And that's the ideal. We're not there yet, but the way that we move towards the ideal is by selecting like an appropriate harvester and by breeding green chili that's appropriate for a mechanical harvest.
So this here is our harvester that we use for the green chili. It's made by a company called Edgar, and it uses a double helix, and they turn in opposite directions. So as this runs through the row, the plant goes through it, the middle stem goes right in the middle, and as it moves up, it pops off all the fruit. Now this was originally made for bell peppers, so it's been taken some tweaking to get it to work with green chili, but it started to get really successful in the recent years.
Mechanical harvest in chili has been implemented for red chili almost completely, but hardly at all for green chili. And one of the reasons why is because and there are different destinations for the green and red chili. So red chili usually gets dried and sent off, and green chili usually is fresh and sent to be processed. So that means that it will need to be nice and intact coming out of the field. And so that kind of raises the bar for mechanical harvesting.
So right here is our mechanical harvest trial that we've been doing year after year here at the Agricultural Experiment Station. We have multiple breeding lines that we've been working on for years, and we've been developing traits that help it be harvested by the machine. So you see how tall they are here. They're past my waist. And this is because we planted them by seed. Here is the same chili, same place, but transplanted instead of seeded. And what you'll see is they're a lot shorter. They're only up to my knee. It doesn't make a taproot like direct seeded plants would, and that's why it's so tall over there. But here, the roots just form a ball, and the plant above the ground has the same habit. So it branches a lot and it creates this bushy shape. This isn't really good for machine harvesting. The reason being because, as you've seen this machine, it goes underneath it and it needs to get all the fruit right from the ground up. But if the whole plant is branching and all the fruit is sitting there on the ground, it's just not going to pick it up. So that's why when we do machine harvest, and if you want to mechanically harvest chili, you probably should go with direct seeding your field. For more information, you can go to our website. Also, we have an Instagram for New Mexico State Vegetable Extension.